Hi there, welcome back to GeeklyEDU Biology. And in this video, we're going to be talking about the life cycle of the cells in our bodies. So each cell has its own life cycle. And just like humans, these cells will grow older, reproduce, and then die. And this is referred to as the cell cycle, and it involves the really important tasks of first growing and copying the DNA in the cell, and then splitting into two daughter cells having that same DNA. The cell cycle involves mainly two major phases. The first of which is called interphase, and this is where the cell grows and then copies that DNA. And then we have the mitotic phase, which is where the cell splits into two daughter cells, each containing their own set of the DNA, which was originally copied in the interphase. Honing in a little bit more on interphase within the cell cycle, so this is shown here in the yellow, we first have the G1 phase, or also referred to as the first gap phase. So here the cell grows larger, producing organelles and molecules. Then we have the S phase, and this is where the new copy of DNA is replicated or created. And so it also is where we have the centrosomes duplicate, and so centrosomes are important for the cell division, so physically pulling apart the two daughter cells. And then we have the G2 phase, or the second gap phase, and here the cell grows a little bit more and produces more molecules such as proteins, so basically ramping up for the actual cell division that happens in the M phase. And now we have the mitotic phase, or the M phase, so looking at a little bit deeper into specifically this phase. So within the mitotic phase, mitosis happens, and so this is where the DNA condenses into chromosomes and is then pulled apart by the mitotic spindle, which is kind of controlled by those centrosomes that I just mentioned. And then mitosis is actually made up of four separate stages itself. So here we have prophase, then metaphase, then thirdly we have anaphase, and then telophase. So you can find more about this in the video on mitosis. And then also within the mitotic phase we have cytokinesis. So this is where the cell actually splits into two daughter cells. So in our interphase we have the duplicate DNA, and then we have the four stages of mitosis, and then at the end we have the two daughter cells. So what happens to the two daughter cells at the end of the M phase? So they broadly have two different fates. They can firstly just immediately go through the whole process again. So this is for when we may need rapid cell division. And then it can also go into a resting state where this cell is simply just doing its function, and this is called the G0 phase. And also just interesting to note that scientists think that most of the cells in our bodies to go through this cell cycle, it approximately takes 24 hours, which is just an interesting little fact. If you enjoyed this video and you want to learn more about biology, please subscribe here for more.